Well, welcome. I'm so glad you're finally here, together in this ginormous space to celebrate you. This has been a year of waiting for testing, waiting for vaccine, waiting for things to open up, waiting for the rain to stop. It has been a long, hard, crazy year. And in some ways, the entire year felt a bit like hurry up and wait. It reminds me of the Shakespeare line from Romeo and Juliet, "Too swift arrives as tardy as too late." Or as we say in business, timing is everything. But it's finally here, and things are really looking up, and I'm so glad we're here today. Through it all, this class has exhibited unprecedented strength and resilience. You've not just survived, but thrived. Our record-breaking employment numbers show that you have exciting careers on the horizon. And I'm so happy that we're all here today. Many other fine schools gave up on in-person commencement, but I'm proud that we're here today celebrating you. And through it all, the faculty and staff have been by your side. A school is only as good as its faculty and staff, and we have a fabulous team at Owen. Would the faculty and staff please rise to be recognized? On the stage with me today are Deans Willis, Heyer, Oldham, and Wilkinson. They're here to assist in the program. And of course, we have many special friends here and also out online that have come from all over the US and all over the world. With the family members, partners, and friends, please rise and let's give them a hand for those supporting friends and family. Family and friends, please rise. Yeah. Our legacy at Owen extends over 50 years ago when Vanderbilt first recognized the importance of preparing students for a career in business. From that time until now, there's been a long line of business leaders who have started from this very place. Just like you, they were transformed by the Owen experience. Our goal is to transform and propel students in their chosen careers, and now you're part of the Owen story. I urge you to return often, to seek out other members of the Owen family. And remember, wherever you go, your network is never complete, your learning is never over, and your leadership style will require ongoing refinement. We can help you throughout your career, and you can help us. We at Owen crave your involvement, your ideas, your experience. They really are the energy and lifeblood of our learning community. So please return often, stay involved, be involved with other alumni in your cities, and mentor the next generation of students. Congratulations and best wishes to the days ahead. It's now my pleasure to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Sarah Traherne. Sarah is CEO of the Country Music Association. She helms the organization's 3 acclaimed television properties, one of the biggest music festivals in the world, and serves as president of the CMA Foundation, which funds meaningful music education initiatives across the country. Sarah began her career at C-SPAN in Washington, D.C., covering politics and public affairs before moving to Nashville in 1995 to oversee specials and entertainment for TNN, the Nashville network. Sarah was most recently general manager of the cable network Great American Country, where she had executive oversight over the creative and digital initiatives. Throughout her career, Sarah has been an advocate for country music, the artists, the songwriters, the extensive business community, and creative community that fuel that format. Sarah was recently recognized as one of Nashville's most admired CEOs and is consistently listed among Billboard's Country Power players, including being named Executive of the Year in 2017. She serves on the board of Monroe Carroll Hospital at Vanderbilt, Georgetown University's Baker Scholars Program, the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation, Girl Scouts of Middle Tennessee, and the Nashville Mayor's Music Council. She's an alum of both Leadership Music and Leadership Nashville, and she serves as president of the West Coast-based Academy of Country Music. Sarah is a graduate of Georgetown University and of Vanderbilt's Executive MBA program. Welcome, Sarah.
Protocols everywhere. You gotta love it. Thank you. Thank you, Dean Johnson, for that generous introduction. Today wasn't quite what we expected, but it kind of is what we expected for this year. So, and to the faculty, staff, friends, and family, thank you for joining us today to celebrate the 2021 graduates of the MBA, EMBA, Masters of Accounting, Masters of Finance. I'm looking, raise your hands when I call your class. MBA. EMBA, woo. Masters of Accounting, Masters of Finance, Masters of Management and Healthcare. Few of you, okay. It's not quite the lovely day we expected, woo. But we're delighted you're here with us in person. And most importantly, to you 2021 Graduate School of Management graduates, congratulations, you did it. And I love the ponchos coming around. We are working on the fly, which is what this whole year has been about. Today, the entire Owen community, past and present, celebrates your accomplishments. Your hard work, tenacity, and resilience in the face of ever-changing circumstances is remarkable and deserves a round of applause. Come on, right. I have fond memories of my own time at Owen. And while my journey here was vastly different from yours, I have several key recollections that are seared in my brain. I visit occasionally, and whenever I walk by Executive Classroom 204, I sometimes still shudder. I have a clear picture of where I sat in the third row on the upper left-hand corner, an equally crystalline memory of a Saturday morning strategy class when my study group came up to present. On that day, the professor called on me to address the part of the case that, of course, I hadn't worked on. While I might not have nailed it, I kind of knew the material, and I spoke with confidence and explained it to the best of my ability. I don't remember the answer to the strategy question, but I do remember the physical exhale when the professor moved on to the next student. At the end of the discussion, he asked for questions from the class, and one of my best friends, who I clearly remember he sat in the upper right-hand part of the classroom, asked me a question I was not prepared to answer. The pause was painful. I had no clue. I stammered. I was mortified. I remember that feeling to this day. But I learned that you can learn something important from not having all the answers. And it's in those moments of uncertainty, or even moments of inexperience, that humility can become wisdom. Another time, I was having a conversation with Owen's beloved finance professor, Hans Stoll, and I was uncharacteristically elated about a C+ I'd gotten on a corporate finance test that I was certain that I'd failed. I was so relieved, and after class, I assured him with all sincerity that I did not intend to make a career out of valuing corporations, but I did commit to hiring good people to handle finance in my personal and professional lives, and I do so to this day. While it's great to know your material, sometimes you're more powerful when you recognize that you may not have all the answers. It isn't always the smartest person in the room who succeeds, but sometimes it's the wisest. As cliche as this is, we all know that business is a team sport. Sure, there are tried and true accounting principles, but there are no cut and dried answers to every situation. The wisest person in the room will often rely on the smartest person in the room who have the right information for informed decisions every time. Earning a graduate degree from Owen is challenging in the best of times. Owen is thoughtfully designed to inspire, enlighten, and engage. But in 2020, your community also learned how to adapt, to be creative, and to persevere. Thanks to the swift response from Dean Johnson and the dedicated staff and faculty, only 1 week after suspending classes, the curriculum migrated to virtual learning, with studios outfitted for video conferencing in addition to home offices being transformed for both doing Zoom classes and also for recorded content. Technology meant that the students didn't have to sacrifice the interpersonal relationships that are so central to getting a degree at Owen. I know from my own experience how important team-oriented work is for many of these programs. Book a room and order food quickly became book a Zoom and order DoorDash. And kudos to the Student Experience Task Force for planning virtual trivia nights and remote happy hours to keep the students connected and help manage stress. And for those of you in the EMBA program and the MMHC programs, who are often juggling the demanding course load plus a busy day job and family responsibilities, you have my undying admiration and respect for balancing all of that during a pandemic. The experience of these graduating classes is unlike any other graduating class in history. Not to say there weren't challenges along the way for the graduates who preceded you. When Owen launched in 1969, Apollo 11 had just landed on the moon, and the end of the Vietnam War was still several years away. Since then, we've faced 9/11, the Great Recession, and years of military engagement overseas. But this year was different. As you know, COVID-19 touched every corner of the world with deadly consequences. This year required a heightened level of focus and tenacity from you, not required of any other graduating class. And with that experience, you are prepared like no other class for what's ahead. This may not have been what you expected or looked anything like the Vanderbilt brochure, but you're leaving Owen with a depth of knowledge, fortitude, and resilience that will serve you well in ways we have yet to discover. And while it's true you're only as strong as your team, it's also true you're only as successful as your plan. If this year has taught me anything, it's that no plan, no matter how well conceived, is perfect. So don't get too attached to your plans. Plans change, and often they should. As Dean Johnson mentioned, I began my career in Washington, D.C., covering politics, and I soon found my passion in creating live TV events. One of the primary reasons I love live television so much is that one of the reasons people watch live television today in real time is that anything can happen. Is someone going to say something they shouldn't? And I sure hope it doesn't happen on my shows. Is your team going to win in the clutch? Will an SNL cast member break the fourth wall during a skit and start laughing uncontrollably? In television, the producer leads the group in the live plan. First, we're going to go to Chicago, then we're going to go to Capitol Hill, then we're going to go to LA, da-da-da-da-da. You have to be prepared in television for anything. Just like in surgery, you hope it goes to plan. Some days it does, and some days it doesn't. You often learn more from your mishaps than from a smoothly executed plan, and it makes you better prepared for the next time. Yeah, I've had to pivot on the fly. One year I had to produce a 10-camera live red carpet show from the ACM Awards in Vegas with only one camera when the switcher in the truck went out. And during the Republican convention in 1992 in Houston, the whole venue lost power 3 times, all on the shifts that I was producing live. And I also clearly remember when early in my career when I stopped the playback deck thinking that we were done with the show, but we're still on the air. That was the longest 3 seconds of dead air in television history until the director switched cameras. We cut our teeth on planning for different scenarios so we were ready for any eventuality. When a former president had a stroke and was on his deathbed, we had to make plans. Morbid, yes, but essential in a business sense. If he passed away before 6 o'clock, we'd air a short story and come back with a retrospective at 8. If he died later in the evening, we'd cut to a news break and then extend the coverage the next day, and so on and so on and so on. It was three-dimensional planning and a great scenario planning and a great lesson on being prepared for any potential outcome when circumstances are beyond your control, kind of like the weather today. Sound familiar? If nothing else, this past year has been a master's class in that paradigm for all of us. This really is appropriate. I'll share an example in my own life. The Country Music Association started CMA Fest as fanfare in 1972. The 4-day event takes place in downtown Nashville in Nissan Stadium. It funds music education programs in public schools all across the U.S., contributes over $65 million per year to the local economy here in Nashville, and is filmed for a network television special that promotes our industry around the world. With hundreds of artists and over 80,000 fans from 35 different countries, it's an enormous undertaking. By mid-March last year, the voices on all sides in my head were deafening. We booked over 300 acts across 11 stages, and we were within 2 weeks of announcing those lineups. Fans from around the world were desperate to know if we would have the event and if they'd be coming to Nashville. We had millions of dollars on the line and contractual obligations and down payments at stake. And no one knew what the next 3 months would hold, let alone the next 3 weeks. We began looking at multiple scenarios and gathering guidance. In those early days in March, I heard from every one of our teams at CMA, especially our live events team, who asked me to please hold off making a decision if there's any chance we could move forward with the event. The mayor and downtown tourism officials were begging us to hold off on making a decision as long as possible. A day or two into the scenario process, one of our young managers challenged me. Can't you just make a decision so we can move on? I laughed and said, yeah, I could make a decision right now, which at this point would be to cancel the event. But the wiser decision was to give it a week or two. The courage was in the decision to wait to make the decision. A few days later, it was clear we'd have to make the heartbreaking decision to postpone. Our team got to work immediately on what I can best describe as the war plan. There was a strategy and cadence to every communication we released. Certain teams called our vendors, other teams handled calls to clients. A large group of our staff managed the phones to speak directly to the fans who called with numerous questions. In the end, while last year was a dramatic process, I was proud of our team's thoughtful execution. And I'm particularly thankful that we're able to flip what was projected to be almost a $10 million loss to just over $2 million, all while pivoting and creating an alternate TV program to hold on to our network licensing fees. We all learned a lot last year, and CMA Fest certainly wasn't our only pivot. Every single one of our events during the pandemic faced a unique set of challenges. But sometimes it's not about having a great plan, but being willing to scrap it, especially because lives are at stake. And even though we made the decision not to have CMA Fest again this June, we do have some exciting plans in the works to bring our artists and fans together in a way that only CMA can do, and we're excited to share that with you very, very soon. Despite all of the challenges we faced, the positive outcome was that as a trade association, we were able to reset, refocus our energy and resources on helping aid and guide our industry during a turbulent time. The past 15 months have been scenarios upon scenarios, more pro forma P&L statements, plural, than I can count, all operating without a playbook. There is no history for anyone to draw from. You can plan for weather emergencies, like today, traffic jams and flooding, all of which I've had to deal with, but planning a festival in the shadow of a pandemic was something no one had ever encountered. All we could do was gather all the available information to make the best decision for the safety of everyone involved. A real-life example of the critical thinking skills you have honed here at Owen. I encourage you to become lifelong learners and develop your natural curiosity. At CMA, I charge our senior leaders with having peripheral vision so that they can always look beyond the edges of their departments for ways to cross over and help their colleagues. Because we are successful in business, and in society when we care for others. I often refer to it as the secret sauce of Nashville, the way our business communities in healthcare, banking, finance, sports, and entertainment genuinely like and work well with each other. I know it's harder to have that sense of community in larger cities like Atlanta, LA, or New York, but you can. Engagement in your community helps you not just be a better leader, but a better person. Find and nurture your relationships with those growing in business alongside you. They're your class, just like here at Owen. The relationships I have with my peers that I developed when I came to Nashville 26 years ago are vital to my success today. Your people will hold you accountable. They know your strengths and your weaknesses, and they will counsel and comfort you in tough times. I'm so grateful to have those people in my life. But my number one wish for you is that you find work that you're passionate about. You may encounter several career pivots along the way to get there, but if you love getting up in the morning and you love what you do, even your worst days won't feel as long. You are graduating after a time of uniquely difficult circumstance, but there's every reason to see brighter days ahead. It's been a challenging year, but it's a better world you're entering as graduates, one in which I truly feel we have a better and healthier perspective than we did a few years ago, when we're more prepared to be nimble and address the opportunities that are ahead. In closing, I want to share with you the last Calvin and Hobbes cartoon from December 31st of 1995. I'm not sure if they're putting it up or not. There you go. You may be familiar with it. You may not be familiar with it, but it was a hugely popular daily comic strip about a boy and his stuffed tiger. That's all you really need to know. In the final strip, the two comrades are walking through the newly fallen snow. Calvin says, "Wow, it really snowed last night. Isn't it wonderful?" Hobbes the tiger replies, "Everything familiar has disappeared. The whole world looks brand new." Calvin, "A new year, a fresh, clean start." Hobbes, "It's like a big white sheet of paper to draw on." Calvin, "A world full of possibilities. It's a magical world, Hobbes, old buddy. Let's go exploring." So graduates, congratulations on completing your programs at Owen. It's a world full of possibilities. Now, go explore. Thank you.
Sarah, on behalf of the Owen School at Vanderbilt, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today. Well, I'm now excited to recognize student achievement. Award recipients, please stand to be recognized as I read your name. The Matt Whittington Leadership Award is a financial award presented annually to the graduating MBA student in recognition of outstanding performance in finance. Please join me in congratulating Jarvis Allen Workhaven. The Florinay Cole Prize is a financial award given annually to the graduating MBA student in recognition of contributions to the school and to academic performance in international management coursework. Please join me in congratulating Tavis Wellwood. Tavis, please stand. The Igor Ansoff Award is a financial award endowed by several members of the Owen class of 1972 and is presented to the graduating MBA student for contributions to Owen. Please join me in congratulating Caitlin Barrett Wilson. Caitlin, please stand. The Financial Executive Institute Award is presented to the MBA student who's excelled in accounting courses. Please join me in congratulating Timothy Tan. The Martin S. Geisel Leadership Award is presented to the graduating student in the Owen Executive MBA program who's demonstrated leadership in executive education. Please join me in congratulating Tara Marie Tenorio. Owen Service Awards are presented to graduating students from all programs who've demonstrated outstanding effort in leadership at Owen, as well as community involvement. The Student Achievement Committee receives nominations from faculty and staff each year, and recipients are selected based on their leadership to enhance student life experiences and make Owen a better place. Award recipients, please stand to be recognized as I read your name and remain standing. Audience, please wait until I read all the names, and then we'll give them a big round of applause. So get ready to stand. For the MAC program, Deanna Wright. For the MSF program, Taylor Mathis and Andrew Jacob Walters. For the MMARC program, Tiana Tollefson. For the MBA program, Brian Dabb, Sambit Carr, Marcus Makowski, Stephanie Ann Morgan-Jones, Dino Monroe Jr., Chidi Onuki, Leonard Pfeiffer V, Aj Sonolaniki, Mackenzie Steele, and Jarvis Workhaven. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations to y'all. I now invite Associate Dean Nancy Heyer to the podium to recognize the Founders Medalists and Dean Medalists.
Endowed by Cornelius Vanderbilt and first presented in 1877, the Founders Medal is awarded annually to one student in each of Vanderbilt's 10 schools and colleges who graduates with the highest honors. The Founders Medal is presented to the graduating Owen student who, in the judgment of the Dean and the Student Achievement Committee, has the strongest record in personal, professional, and academic performance in meeting the requirements of the MBA degree. Please join me in congratulating the 2021 Owen Founders Medalist recipient, Kevin Matthew Wolf. Kevin, please stand to be recognized. The Dean's Awards for Academic Excellence are presented to the graduating student from each Owen program who has achieved the strongest record in personal, professional, and academic performance in meeting the requirements of the degree. Students, as I announce your name, please stand to be recognized. For the Master of Accountancy program, the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence is presented to Carson Daniel Anderson. For the Master of Science in Finance program, the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence is shared by Jonathan Mendoza Coronel, Emma Kurtz, and Michael Tyler Mariconda. For the Master of Marketing program, the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence is presented to Shelby Madison Burnett. For the Executive MBA program, the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence is presented to Sriji Patel. For the Master of Management in Healthcare program, the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence is shared by Erin Leanne Fairbrother and Terrence Allen Smith. Students must rank in the top 20% of their graduating classes to be eligible for Owen Honors. Will all students who attained Owen Honors please stand to be recognized? I now invite Richard Willis to the podium to recognize faculty achievement.
Good morning, everyone. On Tuesday, the Owen faculty recognized 2 faculty colleagues for their contributions to Vanderbilt's mission of research and discovery. Professor Mark Cohen was awarded the Dean's Award for Research Impact in recognition of his contributions to furthering our understanding of environmental economics and criminology. Professor Kelly Goldsmith was awarded the Dean's Award for Research Productivity in recognition of her contributions to furthering our knowledge regarding scarcity, uncertainty, goals, and self-regulation. Turning to teaching, the faculty also recognized their colleagues for innovation in classroom instructional methods, as well as course design. Professor Mark Cohen was honored for developing a new course, Strategic Business Solutions to Address Structural Racism. He was also recognized for his Israel Immersion course, which has been an Owen mainstay for several years. Professor Berk Sinsoy was recognized for his entrepreneurial finance class, which is a new class at Owen that has grown tremendously in enrollment, and it has also been very well received. This year he also introduced a seminar in entrepreneurial finance that features speakers on advanced topics. Professors Cohen and Sinsoy were not able to be with us this morning, but I'll ask Professor Kelly Goldsmith to please stand to be recognized.
The James A. Webb Award for Teaching Excellence was endowed by Nashville City Bank to honor James A. Webb, Jr. This award is presented annually to the Owen faculty member judged by the students in each graduating class to be their most outstanding teacher. The 21 finalists are Nancy Lee Heyer, Brian McCann, Michael Stewart, Timothy Vogus, and Richard Willis. And this year's Webb Award goes to Brian McCann. The Executive MBA Teaching Award is presented annually to the Owen faculty member judged to be, by the Executive MBA students, the best and most outstanding teacher. The recipient for this year's Executive Teaching Award is Brian McCann. We now have a special message from Chancellor Daniel Diermeyer, who will share a charge to our graduates and officially confer your degrees.
Today, we celebrate the achievements of Vanderbilt's graduates, each of whom have shown profound commitment to their field of study. Graduates, you have opened your minds to new ways of thinking. You've learned to challenge assumptions and to do what is right. even if it is not simple or familiar. You've weathered a generation-defining moment together and as individuals. Your profound resilience has led you here today and will strengthen your character for many years to come. Thanks to your compassion, fortitude, and grit, we have arrived at the greatly anticipated moment, the conferral of academic degrees. The charges that I will read to our graduates were penned by the late Alexander Hurt, Vanderbilt's 5th chancellor. These charges are part of Vanderbilt's legacy. They've been passed down through generations and have been imparted to every graduate of this great university since Chancellor Hurt's tenure. Graduates, in receiving these charges, you are joined to a lineage that precedes you, that will endure after you, and which flourishes because of you. Dean Eric Johnson will present candidates for the degrees of the Owen Graduate School of Management. I congratulate you on the skills and distinction you have attained and commend the application of your advanced knowledge to the better management of society's institutions. Congratulations to all our graduates. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trust of Vanderbilt University and by the vote of the faculties, I confer upon each of you the degrees of which you have qualified, and extend to you the best wishes of your alma mater now and for all the days of your lives. Please join me in recognizing these remarkable graduates.
Thank you, Chancellor Diermeyer. I have the honor of presenting these students for the degrees of Master of Accountancy, Master of Marketing, Master of Science and Finance, Masters of Business Administration, and Masters of Management of Healthcare. They have fulfilled the requirements established by the Owen Graduate School of Management and are recommended by the faculty for the conferral of these academic degrees. I invite Associate Dean Nancy Lee Heyer to the podium to recognize the graduates that are here with us today.
Class of 2021 Master of Accountancy students, as I announce your name, please cross the stage to be recognized. Carson Daniel Anderson. Brenner Louise Appel. Suzanne Elizabeth Boyden. Michael James Bradshaw. John Christian Branisa. Carly Cecilia Cohn. Mary Catherine Kahn. Malcolm Douglas Cox. Jack Thomas Dunnigy. Jimmy Dong. Morgan Duff Cooley. Joshua Gabriel Dunn. Justin Carl Dvorsky. Bradley Hagan Ellis. Carson Alexander Hart. Madeline Dolores Hoffer. Brian Robert Hines. Alex Joseph Just. Lane Michelle Karhoff. Erin Marie Kiefer. Timothy Robert Malley. Robert Davis Mitchell. Irene Autumn Murphy. Danny Dia Madison. Eric Robert Neiman. Zachary Michael Oresco. Amika Praveen Patel. Catherine Taylor Rankin. Margaret Sharon Ray. Stephen Lee Reynolds. Sydney Rachel Rubin. Matthew Thomas Sherrod. Blake Thomas Smith. Samantha Sompol. Hannah Marie Summersgill. Lexi Renee Tays. Rachel Lauren Tidwell. Nicholas Van Dyke. Lynn Whitfield. Nathan Woodruff. Brianna Yvette Wright. Class of 2021 Master of Marketing students, as I announce your name, please cross the stage to be recognized. Minahil Amr. Kofi Kelvin Ajanim Boating. Haley Carlson Benz. Andrew John Bergmeyer. Sydney Mattern Burnett. Shelby Madison Burnett. Isabella Ruth Bird. Holden LaRue Catlett. Aaron Alexis Chapman. Thomas DeRosier. Benton James Dodd. Dane Alexander Grabowski. Sarah Mintura Gordon. Mason Thomas Greenberg. Michaela Jameson Guillory. Bailey Lane Hand. Kelly Summer Hartman. Lawrence McCracken Hereford. Carmela Rachel Horwitz. Grace Baker Jackson. Casey Renee Jason. Emma Knight. Mia Stewart Maloney. Mary Elizabeth Marcicella. Amy Leanne Marshall. Ethan Andrew Mergel. Rebecca Allison Meyer. William Mason Miller. Orrin David Milstein. Megan Ann Molzer. Estelle Maria Park. Catherine Grace Runnels. Allison Schneider. Emily Danielle Scott. Charlotte Claire Shackelford. Stephen Joseph Spinellis. Jillian Stevens. Elson Grace Stewart. Cameron Brock Tidd. Tayana Kuipo Kamalilani Tullison. stage Elizabeth Trinter. Victoria Elizabeth Wagner. Jamari Lamar Wakefield. Allie Michelle White. Class of 2021 Master of Science in Finance students, as I announce your name, please cross the stage to be recognized. Owen Thomas Akins. Bradley Allen Alder. Georgie Alikoff. Hayden Henry Anabtawi. Ryan Anderson. Nicholas Alexander Barton. Cooper James Bellinger. Maverick John Bennett. Jacob Joseph Benoit. Jeffrey William Borngesser. James Parker Burns. Evan Gray Butler. Francesca Canjar. Alvisa Cercello. Jonathan Mendoza Coronel. Lexi Cora Del Mascio. Rachel Alexandra English. Jason Harold Finger. Luis Fontenoy. Brock Alexander Fortner. Ross Abraham Friedman. Christian Kaufman Gates. Justin Goff. Drew Nicholas Gonzalez. Chase Weston Govett. Tyler Jade Graham. Carson Faulkner Griffiths. Amy Marie Gross. Timothy Jean Hainel. Faisal Ghazi Heder. Patrick Harris. Cole Bruce Harris. William Harrison Hart. Sarah Caitlin Hubbard. Brian Todd Jacobs. William Smith Jewell. Madeline Marie Kirk. Emma Madalena Kurtz. Justin Lai. Daniel Lewis Langford. Grayson Andrew Lee.
Yeah, Grayson.
Connie Liu. Edward Manukian. Michael Tyler Mariconda. John Sutherland Marple. Taylor Gabrielle Mathis. William Lee Mayo. Frank Irving McField Zapata. Nathan Evan McLaughlin. Winford Elwood Medlock IV. Wilton Clinton Meeks IV. Megan Leslie Montgomery. Charles Anderson Moore. Dominic Noss. Brendan Wade Neeran. Adelaide Alubawale. Chukuka Jude Omadon. Coulter Parker. Michael Andre Parker. Jake Michael Pearson. Dresden Rin Plotkin. Artem Potapov. Knox Alexander Powell. Ellis Clark Prince. Alex Putney. Jack Rains. Andrew Riccotto. Joshua Michael Rhodes. Alexander Gregory Wright Slothauer. Renee Nicole Sanford. Connor Daniel Schreck. Robert Lynn Sechrist IV. Kyle Patrick Shermer. Charlotte Wilhelmina Sierra. Nikolai Alexander Twyman. Saul E. Velez. Panu Virtanen. Andrew Jacob Walters. Michael Thomas Ward. Charles Rayburn West III. Michael Songwei Wu. Uling Wu. Shi Yuki Yu. The class of 2021 Master of Business Administration students, as I announce your name, please cross the stage to be recognized. Shobit Agrawal. Richard McLean Emissaw. Cynthia Ruth Bailey. John Andrew Ballant. Matthew James Barber. Kenneth Ray Barnes. James William Berry. Sean Tyler Berkowitz. Kelsey Latour Bogle. Nicholas Ryan Broll. Thomas Joseph Bujold. Aaron Campbell. Wesley Michael Carey. Renee Soboleski Casali. Savannah Jane Kavanaugh. Joseph Patrick Kavicki. Rachel Amanda Chapnick. Chika Chimezi. Tyler Glenn Cobb. Robert Rayner Colmery. Amy Stanton Colombo. Hannah Porter Quarterman. Buckner Anderson Corso. Daniel Alexander Cortez. Colin Andrew Costello. Aaron Crow. Brian Mark Dabb. Julian Danziger. Connor Dennis Dara. Blaine Robert Davis. Kara Elise Davis. Patrick Carl Delaney. Mario Anthony DeVitro. Jeffrey Meade DeRemus. Jinchu Du. Alicia Susan Edichandi. Joshua Olamide Enyola. Matthew Justin Fallon. Daniel Benjamin Friend. Nicholas Kent Gehring. Samantha Ashley Givens. Fernando Daniel Gonzalez. Mary Charles Graham. Samuel Nelson Graham III. Rebecca Shield Greer. Ishan Gulati. Robert Louis Hagerty. Yuki Haigaki. John Andrew Hampson. Jennifer Lee Hellman. Daniel Earl Hampton Hewlett. Domingo Jose Hiller. Robert Fleury Hills. Mikihiko Ibe. Tomoki Ide. Nora Claire Johnson. Sambit Siddharth Kaur. Kelly Una Kim. Paul Dylan Kuntz Jr. Craig Allen Kufal. Christopher Gordon Henry Lebrun. Eric Michael Lindgren. Ryan Elliott Loho. Daniel McDonald Lauder. Alexander Powers Luna. Marcus Alexander Mikowski. Thomas John Marino. Amalia Mariaca. Shelby Lee McCollum. Andrew C. McIntosh. Marley McMillan. Roger Stephen Meekum. Whitney Marie Meyer. Victoria Ashley Mitchell. Jitindra Mohanani. Mildred Emily Mansour. Stephanie Ann Morgan Jones. Randall Hayes Morgan II. Matthew Mortensen. Dino Philip Monroe Jr. Dow Elizabeth Wynn. Chidi Kenneth Anuki. Jose Leon Padilla. Jackson Patronelli. James Randall Patronelli. Stephen Stewart Patton. Catherine Marie Polino. Nitish A. Peters. Benjamin Jared Peterson. Leonard Pfeiffer V. Bida Pham. Tyler Benjamin Perkle. Catherine Helena Poe. Jessica Andrews Price. Sarah Margaret Quigley. Neha Rastogi. William Circle Ray. Edward Anthony Reeve. Brendan Regan. Jack Dennison Robertson. Scott James Russo. Sasha K. Selenko. Ryan Thomas Sanford. Joseph Jarrett Santulli. Deneen Shawties. Evan Douglas Schmidt. Allison Michelle Sharetta. Tia Sikashu. Bernardo Simoes. Margaret Jean Sims. Harrison Michael Smith. Nicholas Owen Smith. Aj Atul Solanki. John Montgomery Spackler. David James Spanos. Mackenzie Ann Steele. Gregory Daniel Swistol. Itunu Paul Taiwu. Timothy Ranjin Ton. Samuel Worthen Taylor. Arthur Vansaw Thompson. Arthur Grainer Thorne. Douglas Josiah Totten. Hannah Gavin Turnbull. Yvonne Caroline Kalma Uduba. John Thomas Van Meter. Marianne Ayers Vardaman. Rowdy Gallagher Bass. James Matthew Vidal. Emily Christine Walker. Severin Douglas Griffiths Walstead. Travis William Wellwood. Jarvis Allen Workhaven. Benjamin David White. Burke William Wiggins. Charles Edward Williams III. Mackenzie David Wilsey. Caitlin Barrett Wilson. Alexis Janine Winograd. Kevin Matthew Wolf. Casey Timothy Wood. Benjamin Joseph Woke. Rachel Ellen Wozniak. Juing David Yap. Danny Zachria. Xiao Zhang. Anwar Larbi Zoak. The class of 2021 Executive Master of Business Administration students, as I announce your name, please cross the stage to be recognized. Kelsey Bahadur Singh. Tyler James Baumgarten. Charles Allen Brown. Kyle Gerald Connolly. Mary Elizabeth Darby. Andrew Dunn. Emily Engel. John Daniel Falatok. Meredith Ellen Thicken. Gregory Eugene Geffrey. Corey Gingras. Scott Glidden. Jen Griffin. Margaret Hep Harrison. Eric James Holder. Andrew David Hersey. Christian Illich. Kristen Elizabeth Kenny. Crystal Kenzer. Lindsay Marie Lance. Ping Lee. Richard Margaritoff. Kyle Matson. Stephen Paul Mollers. Brian Irvin Morris. Mark Medley Morton. Austin Moss. Christina Rose Mosser. Adam Nadeau. Richard Navarre. Sean Odell. Kevin Robert Parker. Shriji Patel. Vipul Prakash. Tara Thomas Rice. Phelan Veit Scott. Sam Skinner. Adam Jacob Stubbs. Tara Marie Tenorio. Alexander Tichenko. Joshua Andrew Truitt. Robert Colin West. Allison Brooke Westlake. Andrew Peter Zally. The following students completed the Master of Management in Healthcare degree in the fall of 2020. Students, as I announce your name, please cross the stage to be recognized. Melissa McGeehan. Shayla Muriel Chaston. Elizabeth Cherry. Donald James Diffendorf. Erin Leanne Fairbrother. Dr. Carissa Lynn Garza. Sarah Lynn Grichnick. Edward Arthur Hunnicutt. Jacob Jolly. Anthony Joseph Lepore. Anthony Tafij Locklear. Janet Lynette McCormick. Catherine Marie Mills. Ryan Michael Nix. Bridget Allison Frosina Phillips. John Crittenden Pope IV. Amy Lynn Potts. Jessica Michelle Rains. Scott Anthony Rega. Stephanie Jennifer Ryan. Rachel Caroline Sharp. Joshua Smith. Terrence Allen Smith. Stephanie Spector. Jill M. Thomas. Stephen Tilstra. Catherine Auleen Williams.
That's right. Let's give them one more round of applause. Well, you're now alumni, that community that continues to grow, more than 10,000 strong. We celebrate each of you today and encourage you not to be a stranger in the years ahead. Come back next year to celebrate the opening of our new building, and there'll always be a home for you that remains for you at Owen. We look forward to keeping the doors open for you always. A few notes about exiting the stadium as we near the end of the ceremony. All the guests in the stands should exit using either gate 2 or 3. On the field, our graduates will be released row by row and exit through the tunnel. After that, I invite the graduates to pick up a box of strawberries and chocolates in celebration of this day. You can pick up that box on Jess Neely Drive. I hope you enjoy this gift and celebrate a little bit today. And for those graduates watching virtually, you'll receive a commemorative gift in the mail in the coming weeks. Guests, you can meet your graduate on Jess Neely Drive after they pick up their gift box. Graduates, the true measure of a great university is what the alumni do in the wider world. And our alumni do amazing things. So as you take this next step towards your bright and exciting future, go forth with all heart. Use your education to lift up the world and benefit humankind. Graduates, I'm entrusted by the university with the privilege of sending you forth to invest your gifts and talents for the betterment of society, to lift up humanity, and to bring honor to Vanderbilt. This ceremony is now concluded. Congratulations.